Five.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we should be live. Hello, all you drama frogs out there. Can you hear me in chat? Just someone type anything in chat, please, to let me know that we're good. I'm too much of a boomer to fucking know if anything's working ever. Dean, wait, can you hear us, Dean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard
Okay.
us in the stream.
All right,
But
cool.
I thought it was funnier to just say hi before I actually heard you in the stream.
Oh. All right, everyone. So yeah, I'm joined today. This is kind of a very impromptu stream. I'm joined with Dean of Burn One and Dan of Burn One. You guys want to say hi?
Hello.
All right. I hope you guys heard them because I'm too much of an idiot, like I said earlier, to figure this stuff out half the time. So, some recent news came out. Some of us kind of knew this was coming because some of the people who were affected were contacted prior to this release statement by Bushiroad. But obviously, if you can't tell by the thumbnail of this live stream or all the drama that's going on the Facebook groups and Discord this morning, one of a well-known player was caught cheating, unfortunately, on an online event. And it kind of goes a little bit deeper than that one event. Oh my god. Right,
A lot deeper.
Yeah, a lot deeper. Shout out to Soy Saucer WS. Once again, supporting the community, even though I thought he disappeared forever. Love you, man. But anyway, back to what really matters here, the drama frogging. So it turns out it went a lot deeper than we initially thought. I didn't even consider to look back at other things. It was just kind of like, oh, this is happening and whatever. We'll see how the statement works out and everything. So one of the higher profile community members, Vince Chow, was caught cheating on camera. Here, let me throw this up here. This was the initial statement by Bushiroad here. They released this tweet here, and then this is their statement. Sorry, it's all white. Unfortunately, this is Bushiroad's website. So we'll just kind of go through some of the facts here before we start discussing a little bit. The stream probably won't be too long, but the main purpose is we're going to go through the facts of what happened, and then we're going to just talk about how this affects the community as a whole moving forward, because this actually unfortunately hurts a lot of people. I'm sure Vince at the time didn't really think about how this would, if he was caught, how this would happen, or how it would affect the people around him. But we'll get into that. So this is the official statement. I'll go ahead and read it off for those that aren't really looking at the thing. So it's cheating incident during BRO 2021. Announcement, cheating incident during BRO 2021. Thank you for your continued support. It has been brought to our attention that a player was suspected of cheating during BRO 2021 Weiss Schwarz Swiss rounds. We have confirmed this report after conducting an internal investigation. The player in question managed to attain high placements in the tournament. Thereafter, as such, we will be imposing the following penalties on the player in question. Banned from taking part in all official Bushiroad sanctioned tournaments with immediate effect until the 28th of August 2023. This applies to all of Bushiroad games and events. So it looks like they're banned from even shop leagues and stuff like that. And then annulment of tournament ranking and placement and recall of prizes. So if you guys didn't see, unfortunately I don't have it anymore, but Vince did post all the prizing and a video about the prizing online. We'll talk about it a little bit after this. Bushiroad takes all cases of cheating and misconduct during tournaments seriously. We will not hesitate to take action to ensure the integrity of our tournament and to ensure a fair and enjoyable tournament for all our players. Such incidents arise, we encourage the community to report these to us via email at support@bushiroad.com. So I guess we'll just talk about this first. First thing I want to say is I'm glad Bushiroad took this seriously, to actually do some kind of internal investigation a little bit before they made a statement and actually placed the ban out against Vince for his transgressions against the community, basically, and cheating. You guys are kind of this is a good step forward, at least, right, for Bushiroad to try to keep the integrity of high level play together.
Yes.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying it's just weird that they only banned him for 1.5 years, in my opinion.
It was a little bit more.
August 2023. That's a year and 6 months from now.
Oh, you're
Exactly,
right.
actually.
Never mind. Apologize.
I agree. I don't want to take this away from Bruce Road because I'm happy that they did something about it. But from those who are new to the community, we had an incident that didn't involve cheating before. But this is from the Japanese side of Bushiroad, so they might take things a little differently. Obviously, Bushiroad C handles most of the foreign market, I believe. So in Japan, there was an incident when the level 3 Marika from Nisekoi was banned. Someone posted basically a shit post on Twitter of them quote unquote burning their signed Marika card at like some Korean barbecue place. That player was banned for 3 years for taking a picture of him like burning his own property, and wasn't even burning it. It was like a meme. He was just put it above like the grill, and that person was banned for 3 years.
Mhm.
I'm in agreement with kind of Dan. I think the ban length on like getting caught cheating, especially at such a high level in a high profile event, I think minimum should be like 3 years. I'm not super familiar with how other games handle it all the time because it's not something that's super rampant all the time I see out there. I know in Magic the Gathering usually the bans are quite longer. I think they're a few years every time as well. I'm not 100% sure, and obviously depends like how high profile the event was and everything. But either way, not to take away anything from Bruce Road for stepping forward and actually imposing bans and such. Because anytime this happens, if the parent company doesn't step in and do something, it causes like a big rift in the community, making it so that a lot of players feel like if there's no integrity in for fair play or anything like that, even if it's online, that's enforced by the company and the people who run the events, then like why would we want to spend our time if people can just sit here and cheat all they want, right?
Mhm. And so this is actually he's cheated across 11 different tournaments, both Bushy Road and
Yeah.
private
So
tournaments.
I'll bring it up here. I have the list right here, actually, Dan. I had this
Yeah,
all set aside. So this is a tweet. I got this information from Dan, which I think he actually got from someone else. Um,
yeah.
uh, who was the person that compiled this? Do you know, Dan?
Oh, it was my friend's friend.
All right, yeah. So Dan's friend's friend, which I stole Dan's thing he sent in our chat. Here is this tweet I released. It has a list of all the major tournaments and online events that he played in, and ended up like doing well in. So we have Anime Evo 2020. He made top 8, 6-0 in Swiss. Card Market EU tournament, first place 9-0. ENTG Mixed Tournament, December 2020, first 8-0. Dan's Ranch Trios, first 9-0 individual winning, and then 9-0 as a team. ENTCG Mid Spring Tournament, he got second place there, going 8-1. BSFO 2021 EU, third place, 8-1. BSFO 2021 Australia, top 8. Dan's Ranch Legacy Tournament, he got third place, 7-1. Our Burn One single event, he got first, 9-0. BRO 2021 EU, he got second place, going 8-2. BRO 2021 Australia, first and going 9-1. And these are all the events basically from over the last 2 years, because during COVID we had to move to an online environment, which really sucks. But these are all the potential events that he did possibly cheat in. I think that there is confirmation that he did cheat in multiple of these events. We just don't know exactly when it started happening. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. He's already been caught as a cheater, and so every single one of these records, it does matter. It doesn't matter if he played fair in all these events except for the last one. He's lost all like trust from the community, right?
Yeah, so they have confirmation across I think 3 tournaments. With whenever he ended up on stream, at least 3. I don't think people actually dove any deeper. I know one of the players from Australia that played a lot with Vince was the one who was uploading it. He's on Facebook. It's Matt.
Yeah, I have it open right here.
You open that there too. Yeah, and he has all the timestamps, so you could pull that up and let people actually look for themselves if they want.
Yeah, so this is the
Mhm,
timestamps of Matt keeping count of all the card counts. And at the end here, I'm
mhm,
sorry on stream this is getting cut off a little bit, but at the end, his deck was never actually 50 cards to begin with because he was keeping cards on the side
mhm.
to like shuffle back in or put into his hand or put into the deck. We don't know exactly the specifics about how he did what he did. We just know this is further proof showing that this wasn't a one-off random event, one like match, right? This has been like premeditated over multiple events, and obviously, as I assume, like most cheaters, as they like get addicted to cheating early on, like they get a little bit more risk, like braver and
Bold
riskier and
with
bolder.
it.
Yeah, bold is the great way to say it about cheating, just to like get that edge. Because at the end of the day, I think most people considered Vince a pretty good player. So like, unfortunately, like some of the best cheaters are the people who are already like top players at certain games because they know how to cheat and make it look real. And unfortunately, in this scenario, this is what happened.
Yeah, so like a lot of what he did, he would like start the game with a smaller deck. He would have staples, important cards on the side. He would have more than 50 cards sleeved in total, so that he could slide in and out cards he wanted and didn't want. I have a high suspicion that he's also marking climaxes. Like for example, he played a lot of Goblin Slayer, and they have a torch, which is you could look at top 4 cards of your deck, off turn, on turn, counter step. And then you add a character, and a lot of time he would do weird short ones, 1 to 2 cards, sometimes 3, and then he would always cancel after it. There's the clip that I think brought it into attention was the one where he was playing against Coop, where he blatantly slid a 3rd card from off stream, a climax under to his deck, and then removed the top card of his deck.
Yeah, should be.
I do want to say, you say blatant, but it wasn't really blatant. It was fast.
Yeah. He did it in a way that was kind of sleight of handy, but like if you went back and reviewed the footage, you could see it. I have it here. Do we want to actually play it for the stream so they can point it out? Or
Yeah, you can show it. Yeah, just pull it up, play it like
okay,
Like half speed.
0.25 speed.
Yeah, hold on.
Or
Let
half
me-
speed,
Or
yeah.
slower, yeah.
This up.
Because there's latency in the original video, and also we're streaming latency. But after that, he also needed to cancel off the top to not die that turn. And then he quickly shuffled his deck. He did not present for cut, and then he tried to quickly flip the cancel, which was on top. But Kuhn just hit him with a hey, cut your deck 3 cards down. And ended up winning anyway, but I think there was a lot of suspicious things that showed that it was very practiced and a habit at that point, really.
Yeah, all right. I have the video here on stream now. I'm gonna go to blow this up for everyone. Yeah, you can see my mouse here. So you want to pay attention to this side of the screen. If you notice up here, he only has 2 cards in the deck currently. Just keep track over here once he picks up his cards, and you'll see how it goes. I've never actually used VLC Player to slow down things. How the hell do I slow down things?
You press the minus sign.
Oh, the minus sign. All right.
Isn't it absurd that like if in this video he picks up his deck a lot, he picks up his 2-card deck. What is the purpose of picking up a 2-card deck?
He's probably checking for his climax.
I mean, but I know, but I'm saying like in real life, if your opponent had a 2-card deck and they pick it up, like what you're like, what the hell are you doing?
You're nervous.
Maybe
it is a nervous tick for some people. You put your hand down, you flip through your hand.
There it was. If you guys saw it, I'll move back
pick
again.
cards up and put them down.
Let me see. I'll make this even slower. If you watch right here, as he picks up the 2-card deck, a 3rd card comes from off the screen under the deck, and then he takes a card from the top of his deck to put back into his hand.
Oh no, that's not his hand. Like you see his hand below his stock. He just takes the top card off the stream completely.
Yeah.
Right. From with his right hand.
Yep. So that is the one instance we have on camera of the cheating.
Well, but we can also. I looked at the Dan's Ranch video because Matt did DM me directly to verify. But Vince admitted to it before I woke up.
Yeah, I actually have some of the. Let's see. So here, this is Vince admitting to it. I'll just go ahead and read these tweets off. Unfortunately, Vince deleted his Twitter account after he made some posts. We have some screenshots from those posts and stuff before it was deleted, so we'll go through those really quickly as well before we end everything, obviously. So here are the tweets here. When you have what you have. This is in response to Matt's information, which we just showed you right here. What you have documented is correct. I have been doing these webcam cheats for the last 1.5 years. In hindsight, I wish I had made a larger statement that wasn't directly just BRO. This will not be worth anything, but I've never cheated in any in-person events I've ever attended. I was hoping to start a new leaf with this event by playing as honestly as I can, and something overcame me to try and pull that trick. If you were to review my day 2 games for AO and EU, I don't do any of this and played as honest as I could. For, like, okay, this is a really, I don't want to like sit here and shit on Vince. I mean, he's already knows he fucked up, and I'm trying to not be an asshole, and right, but like this type of statement here is just like what the devil possessed him and made him cheat. Like, this is a really weird way to like own up to your mistake. If anything, he's like trying to push blame off, like, oh, I've been cheating for so long, and finally I was going to try to become a clean player again. But then, like
Just
like any
accidentally cheated multiple
Yeah.
times.
yeah, the worst
My
part.
bigger issue
Go ahead.
is that in his original statement, he didn't mention anything about cheating in other half years. He just mentioned in this specific tourney, there was some judge that just told him, "Oh yeah, just keep on playing, no worries."
Ooh, that was absurd.
Which sounds like
It
bullshit
was
to me
really
already.
absurd. By the way, we have those saved as
and
well,
then
even though they're
It
gone.
wasn't until Matt came out with this that he actually admitted to cheating for the entire period of time.
Yeah.
So it looks really dishonest to me and kind of like, oh, damage control.
Yeah, it's super.
Then when it finally got out of hand, everything came out, and when he finally gave up and just deleted everything.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like he probably was still in the mode of like, I could probably, like, I'm still safe because none of the other stuff was brought into question yet, and maybe I could say this one-off instance was wrong. So that you can tell immediately he didn't give a shit about like being like that he cheated. It was more about the fact that he got caught cheating, which is really fucking horrible. But yeah, so like I said earlier, his Twitter is gone. But we luckily saved these screenshots of his BRO statement. I'm gonna go ahead and read this really quick for everyone, just in case if anyone's just listening. So this is a Twitlonger title Vince BRO 2021 statement. I'm so sorry for disappointing everyone who has there to support. Okay, and congratulate me the last few months / years, but I'm so embarrassed to have done what I did during the BRO 2021 event, and I know everything I worked for is gone for the mistake I've done during that event. It was during one of my Swiss rounds in EU Day 1, and something overcame me to put a CX in my hand to the bottom of my deck, even though... Shut up, Dean. The devil took control, all right? So though the game wasn't over and still livable at that point, but I knew that I was likely to lose that round anyways, but that is still no reason to cheat. I immediately ended up telling a judge as soon as I did it and said I would drop out of the event altogether. But they said since it was on stream and not to worry since the outcome didn't change, even though I was already embarrassed that I did that, especially on a streamed game. All right. I was suggested to continue with the rest of the event, and they told me to play anyways for day 2. I regretfully made such a poor sudden lapse of judgment and became the very person I hate the most.
Sudden lapse after a year and a half of cheating, you know?
Everyone who... Wait, is this the next part? I'm so sorry for everyone who I've disappointed, even more disappointed in myself since I know I'm better than this. I should have taken my own advice to drop the event completely and regret continuing to day 2 to ruin the experience of players in the top 8 in 2 regions where I attended, even though I played those games fairly and honestly. Down. Anyway, that is the largest regret I've had in my life, and I know this will be one of the largest lessons I have to face. Please direct all hate on me and on no one else. My not published by Bushiroad since we had to come to an agreement, and my cooperated, but I don't want to hide from this issue and would like to be the one to bring this to light. Please don't take what I did and think that others in my circle or people I know to do those same actions since they played truthfully with honor and dignity. This was my mistake and my mistake alone. Understand that I will be removing myself from the Weiss Schwarz scene, and again, please don't direct any hate or judgment to any players I've spoken to or associated with, but only direct them towards me. I'm sorry that the. Said I moved myself. I'm so angry. I'm sorry
It's
that
struggling to
the
read.
no, it's because it's not. Wait, whatever. Fuck it. I'm sorry that I've ruined the experience for many participants and ruined the game integrity, and I'm even more sorry for ruining the trust of the community. I'm so angry with myself, and will never forgive myself. I will take this time to reflect on my action and hope to learn from this lesson. I know this will forever mark me and will not be ever seen in the same light, but I understand the repercussions of my action. Again, I am sorry, and I especially feel sorry for anyone who has supported me. I know I've lost the trust of the community and my friends. If you hate me or no longer want to associate with me, I completely understand. I may deactivate all my social media accounts. So if you would like to reach out to me and know more about the situation, don't hesitate to message. All right. So with all of that being said, um,
Man, that judge statement was wild.
the judge statement was really fucking bad. Because if there was a judge that did something like that, it's really horrible to begin with. Second of all, during the investigation, I'm sure they reached out to Vince because it was based on his statement. They reached out to him before they published this, their cheating statement. If that was the case, Bouchard would have done an internal investigation during this before publishing this to out the judge, right? Because doing something like that is pretty horrible. Like, there's no, I can't even imagine a judge being like, "No, dude, you cheated your way here. That's cool. Just show up day 2, you're fine. Top 8, you're all good." Like, it seems like it was a desperate attempt to like push blame somewhere else when he knew he fucked up and he didn't, even though he's saying he's sorry, he didn't want to like really, be like, "Oh, it was all my fault. I did this." So especially with the wordage used in his like apologies and stuff, it's always like something took over me, like fucking the devil went inside me and forced me to cheat. He said I had to cheat or something really wild like that.
I tried to DQ myself. The judge just wouldn't let me.
Yeah, that was really weird too. If he regretted it at the time, why did he even show up to day 2? Because they tell people who are lower than 8th place to like, just in case if this person doesn't show up, you be ready to jump in or whatever. Usually, I don't know how this is different than playing in person because I haven't experienced the whole top 8 online scenario stuff because I haven't been playing many of these online events myself. But usually they tell the people in like 9th and 10th place and stuff, kind of be around just in case, because sometimes things do happen and people do not show up and they need to like fill that spot and so forth.
I think my friend got 13th place with one of his losses being to Vince.
Yeah. Also, Nico, who actually got 3rd place in the North American tournament, right? Nico ended up losing one of his rounds to Vince. I think that was kind of the round 2 that Nico decided to drop from the Australia tournament to just go to sleep, because if he's losing like a third round or something, there's no point in like trying to fight the way, stay up and get in the American tournament afterwards, the North American tournament afterwards. He'd just rather go to sleep, right? It sucks.
It hurts more than just the top people he fights against. It hurts like every single person he sees in the bracket.
Absolutely.
Right? It's not cool.
The worst part about it too is like, this is like when you're a bigger figurehead in a community, you have a responsibility. Like, you didn't choose to be a community head. You didn't choose to like be someone people look up to. You just happen to be really good at this game, and you were given this responsibility to be like keep the integrity together because you're a good player. We constantly are on the side here fighting with other people, being like, "Hey, this game has skill. Yes, there's some RNG in the game. It sucks. It sucks so much where like some random Timmy Two Soul could just show up and win an event because they got hella lucky that day, but the game still has skill." And Vince at the time during this whole pandemic was one of the people we'd point to, like, "Hey, look, Vince is a good player. He's consistently doing well, right?" Like, this was a beacon of like good play can get you far. Until this came out, I didn't even realize how much he actually topped or won during the whole pandemic thing, because I don't pay enough attention to the online tournaments. I like ran a couple of them for the community because it's cool and I love the Weiss Schwarz community, but like it's actually absurd of like how well he did. Like, he did so well. I can't believe no one really went through his past VODs to see if he actually was cheating at any point up until now, because he just had the notoriety to like people would just be like, yeah, Vince is a good player. He probably didn't cheat. Like there was no real reason to look back at these things. Like I believe Matt said too, like he didn't have a reason to look at it until after these things come out. And then talking about how this affects more than just himself. Some of his team members, like their entire team, had to break up because of this incident. One of the biggest people in the community that I personally look up to and I think is an amazing person, Ken from Australia. He has to step away from making any content that he wants to do. He had to trash an article he was in the middle of writing that I think he was going to actually finish today and post today. He had to trash it all because he has to take a step away from this because unfortunately being associated with Vince screwed their reputation up completely, screwed their team's representation up completely, and like just makes them look bad. Yeah, no one is going to be like, these people are cheaters that are associated with Vince, but in really weird scenarios now, these people are like, some people are going to start second guessing these people, which is really, really bad. Hurting his local community that bad is horrible. Another thing, like, kind of really sucks too is Australia as a whole honestly gets shafted super hard by Bushiroad and kind of in a way by the community a little bit, because when we talk about competitive play, we don't really talk about Australia a lot. There's some really good players in Australia, but they never have the opportunity to like showcase their skill. They never have the opportunity to make it out to multiple events and be like, yo, look how amazing our players are out here, right? Sometimes we get them in Worlds and they're in top 8 or something. That's super good. I'm so glad for Australia. But the problem is some of the vocal minority in the community, especially on Discord and stuff for a long time, was like, Australia sucks, Australia sucks, Australia sucks. Why should we listen to anyone from there? They can't even do crap. And then Vince, being one of these really great players at the time, or we thought was a great player at the time, was proving people wrong. Australia had the skill, had the players to show up to these major events and tell everyone they suck, basically, right? Not only does he destroy his own community, he destroys everyone in Australia's representation. What's the word I'm looking for, Dean? Respect or whatever. Like, yeah, just the credit of Australia like just drops down infinitely, right? Which is yeah, which is really shitty. Like, I really hate that like this had to happen and come out like this because it just hurts so many more people than it needs to.
Yeah, and something that people have brought up, I mean, like, this is current conversation going on in, like, a Discord thing, right, is, like, it does hurt for the people who didn't cheat, and did top, right, because, like, it's kind of like, there's, like, that thing in the back of people's minds now with, like, online play, they're like, man, there was that one guy, because, like, what was it, the previous thing they had, I forget what that event was called, in the spring, right, like, April, May-ish, where they had that shuffling. They had that one incident with like a top player.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. I forgot the name of the event. Yeah, they got DQ'd because of their shuffling, right?
Yeah, and like that was a thing. Oh, my friend also lost to that person too. Bad luck is bad luck, I guess.
Yeah, bad luck.
Right, and it's like this is 2 times in a row that online events have had some big scandal, and I think it's just because like. I think, like, what does Yu-Gi-Oh! Have to do? You have to have your hands on camera at all times and your face? Like, I think you have to have, like, dual cam setup for Yu-Gi-Oh! For, like, online play. Maybe, like, we need to go to something like that. Because if you look at that, like, the field of view of Vince's camera is, like, very poor, right? Like, it's like, barely the play mat. Right? So, like,
I don't know, like, if you show the video again.
Yeah, you want the video again?
You can see Kuhn, right? The way he sets up his board and camera is really good. Because like you can see his part of his body, part of his hands, like off camera all the times. I think that's like kind of a go-to angle going forward if we want to keep any sort of competitive integrity. In all honesty, because like Dean said, no matter you cheat or not, everything is up in the air now. Or it could be like in certain sports where like everyone is a cheater, just not everyone's been caught before, like in cycling or something, right?
Yeah.
And it's just it really sucks.
Yeah, so I have the camera back on the screen here. So like, yeah, Kuhn here has a really good setup. It's angled in a way that you can see everything. If he brings cards forward and stuff, there's really nothing you can really hide essentially. Um, I like this setup. Kuhn has a really good setup. It makes it a little bit harder for people to cheat, but obviously there's like weird scenarios where people can. It's the nature of online, right? There's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah.
His camera's actually cut off on here because of the stream.
Oh yeah, like the stream cuts it off because they put it inside these little borders to make it look nicer, but it's actually a lot wider and you can see higher up and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, the worst part about this too is that I remember we went on this big tangent a while ago because people were arguing about online players are online players. So again, everyone's cheating, blah 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 blah. And we as a group were like, no, like yeah, it kind of sucks. No matter what you do, people are gonna put like a little asterisk next to your name that you can only win online. But we were fighting for like, even though you won online, you're still a good player. You still worked hard. You still got, use your skill to get to where you're at. And like Vince invalidates all of that, destroys all the credibility that any
Mhm.
credibility like online play had at this point, right? It I just really fucking hate that like this ends up hurting so many more people than it needed to basically hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
We didn't use disconnect strat.
He didn't use the disconnect strat. What a mistake. Oh man.
I mean, you could unironically just lag Twitch or webcam or Discord. I mean,
True. There
you're
was
not even disconnecting. You're just stuttering.
All right. I forgot who this was. I don't think this person cheated, but it was the most funniest thing ever. One of the online events I did play in, this guy's internet went out because apparently anytime anyone uses the microwave at their house, it cuts their internet.
Oh,
I remember
no.
that. That was really
Wait,
funny.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it was so funny. I think I lost to that guy too, but I was just like, whatever about. Or no, did I? I don't even remember anymore. But that was I gotta give it to him. If he was cheating, that was a really unique excuse, and I like it. But but that's besides the point. Um, but yeah, it really blows. I don't. Do you guys want to talk more about anything else with the community, or we kind of just want to leave it at this? I don't want to like sit here and dig into this anymore if we don't have to. I know.
I mean, outside of the fact that like, the Bushiroad ban, I don't know personally. I think at this point, like Vince Bushiroad ban lifted or not, probably never. Like never show up to an event again for this game. To be honest,
I feel
like, there's been
yeah.
too much. There's been too long of too many tournaments ruined for this.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I don't think he'll show up at an event anytime soon if he even decides to come back to the community. I think getting outed like this is really hurtful in general. Maybe down the future, maybe in like 2 years or so, he'll show up again. And obviously, people are gonna forever gonna be like scrutinizing him and making sure he's playing fair all the time, especially in person. But yeah, it's not really our place to be like. Well, actually, it kind of is, but
It's not really hard.
no, but I mean, his local community could just ban him,
It's a
right?
local
Completely.
community, yeah.
It's kind of up to the local community to like decide what they wanted to do because at the end of the day, they're the people that have to play with him, right?
They are.
Yeah, you want to make sure there's a fair and inviting environment to everyone that shows up to events. It's really important that people feel like they are cared about essentially, and that everyone can be friends there. But yeah, I think that's basically it on the Vince drama. I did put issues in the community. I don't know. Do you want to talk anymore, or do you want to just kind of drop it here? Because I've alluded and said like ever since for like this last year or so, there's been a lot of weird community issues that I personally think is really weird by how the community like responds to things. I don't know if we should talk about that some other time. Dealing with like collectors, the whole big beat incident, dealing with casually Weiss Schwarz and stuff like that, like this weird bullying nature that's in like with this the community as a whole, like we have so many growing pains right now because during COVID, our community has like probably doubled in size, right? I feel like that. Like there's so much product out there now. There's so many people getting into the game for different reasons. There's definitely been a lot of growing pains, and I think some of the older community and the newer community just don't see eye to eye completely. And there's been a lot of like weird issues where people are okay with harassing other people, bullying them until they get offline and things like that, which is like a huge no-go for me personally.
Man, I think I don't know. Some of the stuff is insane, but I do see that like when it comes to collectors versus like players, I mean at this point it's like starting to like the shoe is on the other foot, right? Like the collectors, or the players, right? Like if you look at Rent a Girlfriend, I could probably nobody sold it to me yet, but you can probably get a playset for about $110. I mean, there's not a card over $3 on TCG Player. And so, but for a while, because the supply was so low initially, these people were just buying out cards. And if you were a player, you're like, man, I want ReZero, and Amelia's are $100 a piece. You start to go, man, fuck those people that came into my game, right? Like, fuck those people. Who are these people coming into my game, making my cards like cost infinite amounts of money? Like, you know, some people like I Gurren Lagann was a project where I just like didn't want to spend the money on it, but I was like, yeah, maybe one day I'll pick up Commonas. And now Commonas are like $50. Like that card shouldn't be worth like over 10, right? And so there's probably people in similar situations. You know, maybe they were like, you know, like this year I'm going to try to pick up ReZero, and then suddenly ReZero is $100 like per Amelia. So I think it's like the tensions were probably high initially, but like you look at today, and it's like SPs are fairly cheap. Like the EV on a case after a couple months is probably lower than the case itself, right?
A couple months? I don't think so.
Like you look at Ruby, right? Like what's the EV on a Ruby case right now? The most expensive SPs are around 200, and then your
What?
Ruby rares are like 50 to 60, 50 to 100.
Wasn't it 2 and 2?
It was 2 and 2, so you're looking, but like the playset value is like 140. So like right, like your EV on your case is probably lower than like $800.
I also think you should. I don't think English originals are typically not in line with non-English original EVs.
Sao is awful, but like
Was so awful
Sao's EV should have been awful, right? Like there's like
because Sal had
numbers.
serials, and that completely destroyed the.
Yeah, I mean it's like, but like Quince, right? Like in a master case, you might have like value because of the SSPs, but like even on your cases without the SPs, right? Your SPs are sitting at like $50 to $60 a pop. And they're not a lot. The Nino's like 125, but you only get like what 3 SPs, so you could look at like 2.
It's not the ratio, because I know it's like an SSP and HYR, and then like 2 SPs, right?
It's 2. It's 1 SSP per master case, 3 SSPs or 3 SPs and 1 hyper rare in the non SSP case, and 2 SPs, 1 hyper rare, 1 SSP in the other case. Well, like, I think your EVs are like sitting at like barely breaking even now, and like the foil prices are still somewhat high, but like the single prices are very low. So I don't see the problem anymore. But
like,
I don't know. The collector stuff is really weird, right? It's like really weird to see people being like, "I just got this hard time to slab it," and you're like, "What's even going on in this community anymore?"
I mean, that's just a different market in general, right?
Yeah.
It's not something you understand because that's not something you're a part of.
I buy SPs. I have a lot of SPs, Dan. Maybe I should do a collection.
No. I mean, buying SPs is different from buying slabs.
Yeah, it's a completely different market. It's a completely different beast. There are people who like that stuff. Like personally, obviously I'm a Riamu simp. If anyone knows me, if there was ever a Riamu SP in this game, I would pay extra money to get like 10 out of 10 slabbed Riamu SP, right? It's a completely different beast, and when stuff comes to collecting slabbed cards, it's not necessarily market value. It's more of like what can you get someone to pay for. Kind of like how we have some of these like I have like the Sakura Worlds promo. I'm pretty sure I can ask $10,000 for that card if I really want to.
I can confirm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dean can confirm because he did make a sell like that. I have Worlds promos that I've like acquired over the few years and stuff like that. Promos that are like very hard to get a hold of. Basically, there's no actual market value on those cards. Those cards are like whatever anyone could pay for. Like we'll pay for it, right?
the card captor one should be like population like 30.
Yeah, and I'm one
Right,
of the
and
few people that have it. So like,
Goblin Slayer and Soccer's are like 16 to 18, 16 to
yeah,
20
and
apiece.
which we have those. But like, there's a really weird disconnect here when it comes to the growing pains of the community, when it comes with at least the market stuff. Because I can understand as a player, like one day your cards are worth okay, next day your cards are worth $30,000 because every collector and their mother from like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and stuff like that just show up, Neopets show up and buy out all those, buy out everything, right? There's that weird growing pain where the demand had an incredibly huge jump all of a sudden, and the supply to begin with was already low because we're such a niche game, right? The supply has now caught up almost to where the demand is, and that's why or buff a little bit as well, because some collectors buy out so many cases. So that's why you're getting like the weird market flux of cards being like $30 each to now cards are worth like $1 that are double rares and stuff like that. So the EV on cases and stuff is really weird. Personally, I think this is an issue to begin with Bushiroad and how they manage how they send out cases and stuff. Cases are so mappable right now that if you buy enough cases, you can map out everything you want, basically.
Yeah. Singles are single boxes are a problem, right?
Yeah. Like the expected value on a case is so set in stone compared to other games. Like, for example, Pokemon, that's something I'm more familiar with buying in cases, is like you get 6 boosters in a case, whereas in Bushiroad games, you get 18 booster boxes in a case. And when you buy that case from Bushiroad, you know for a fact you are going to get this many playsets, this many signs, one of every foil, and that's it. You're guaranteed that. And on top of, we already know in advance how good each card is because we like look at the Japanese meta, at least the player base does, to know what cards we want to grab right in the beginning. So obviously, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's not like Pokemon or Magic, right? Where like, there's some random rogue combo strat where your Ricky's randomly good, right? It's like no, your Ricky's always good, like, right? There's no card that magically becomes good in your case.
Yeah, absolutely. The way this deck game is played, like building decks, is it's just like you know what kind of effects are really good, unless it's some like weird effect. Occasionally, sometimes a card will go from like a $2 uncommon to like a $10 uncommon, right?
It's usually like a new set, though.
Yeah. Usually it's a new set or like an English only set where someone figures out something that can be abused, and then suddenly everyone wants the new hotness, right? But yeah, back to like the prices in the community and expected value. So a lot of people who collect and want to buy for signs and stuff like that will buy huge cases, and then they sell off all the singles really quickly, sell off as play sets and stuff to other people. Generally, so like the lower rarity cards get over flooded in the market, so that's why we start seeing like this quote unquote crash in price generally until things stabilize.
That's insane for players.
As a player, you should be really happy that this is happening because one, at least this is from my point of view, maybe you guys think something differently, is when your game is cheap enough that you can drop $100 to buy the best deck in the format if you want to like learn this game to get competitive. I think that's really cool. One of the big things that drew me to Pokemon when I was playing it as a side game was the fact that I could drop $100 and I could have like essentially a top tier deck as long as I chose to keep it min rarity, right? But obviously that's impossible because once you see those Pokemon trainers, Jesus Christ. Anyway, those full arts, man.
Those are good.
Yeah. So what makes it super easy for someone to jump in and jump out of this game as much as they want. Like one of the big things I've been saying for a long time, even though Weiss Schwarz is like my main game, I think it's like one of the best side games you could ever like invest in because your deck never rotates out. Your deck's always going to be like something that you like if you're having this as your side game. If you like Idolmaster and you have an Idolmaster deck and that's all you ever want to play, that's all you need to invest in. You have that as your side deck to have fun. When you get tired of Magic, when you get tired of Pokemon, you can play some Weiss on the side, right? Because you don't have to invest so much in. I think having the market be a lot lower and like the barrier to entry is no longer like stopped by like you have to spend $300+ on a competitive deck to be able to even fight people with top tier decks, right? I think a lot of players who aren't familiar with like the business side of things like have this averse reaction to how the market is starting to adjust to its growth, and like they get really upset. They're like, oh my god, this card that's like worth $20 in Japanese is only worth $1 in English.
The funny thing about those people is those are the same people that were like, I hate the game because it's too expensive. English card $40, Japanese card 15, and now English card's $1, and that's the problem. And you're like, wait.
Yeah, it is. A lot of these people, like 1 year ago, was like getting mad because things were expensive. Now they're getting mad that things are getting cheap. Like, dude, come on, fucking figure it out. Is it too expensive or is it too cheap? You gotta pick one of these. You can't argue both sides like this because you're upset that there are new players in your game and you're being left behind because you're not willing to adapt. Like, unironically, that's what I feel like for the most part.
Yeah. But
So, like, I think it's not all good, right? This is great for new players. It's great for sellers because it makes it easier to sell cases. SPs makes their cases better. Like when your EV on a case is like higher than the value of the case, it makes no sense not to just invest into it, right?
Yeah. So
And then when the value is all in the foils and SPs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorting, you don't really need to sort your rares and lowers.
Yeah.
And you're just keeping there, like, hey, anyone want this? Whatever. It's really slow. It's really low investment. So it's great for sellers. It's great for players, base mid-rarity players. Max rarity people are gonna max anyway because they're typically rich, right?
Yeah.
It just hurts the middle ground. The people who want to buy 1 or 2 foils of their favorite girl. It hurts people who want their cards to hold value, right? Because like the singles dropping in value is both good and bad, right? You make your $100 investment into your singles, but like it could drop. It just goes down more, right? Versus in the past, you buy your playset, your playset's probably holding value.
Yeah, I agree with that. Older sets obviously have a little bit more value in English, but Japanese sets, for the most part, kind of stabilize around like when they fall out and stuff and become low rarity, like decks and stuff. They kind of chill around the $150 to $200 range. Whereas like we have sets coming out like literally a month ago, and it's already like you can buy play sets for like $100 essentially.
Quince's most expensive double R is $1. It's insane.
Yeah. The only unique one has been like Bang Dream, where the double R's are still really pricey.
Oh yeah, I hate that set right now.
Yeah. So, but like, kind of because we kind of got a little bit more off the tangent there. But like, once again, what I was saying earlier, I think this is a problem on the Bushiroad side. In their cases are too big. Their cases are too mappable. They need to do something where like, they need to cut down the sizes of their case so that when you buy a case of a set, you don't know exactly what you're gonna get.
Whoa! Let's not talk about that.
You guys shut your mouth.
That sounds awful.
I mean, it's like Pokemon.
That's the best thing about this game right now.
If someone wants
Pokemon in an entire case, you have like a playable card. Pokemon will print a case of like, here's big Charizard number 37, and it's unplayable. And then here's like some broken ass trainer, and you need the trainer only.
There were a lot of issues with JKTCG, like saying that they were a quote unquote baseline is not really a good idea, right? When a store gets to set the baseline of prices for the community, it's there's a lot of conflict of interest in there.
Yeah, when it comes
I do feel like we've evolved though.
Yeah, when it comes to setting prices too, there's never been an MSRP for this game ever at any point. When you look at the order forms from distributors and stuff, the stuff they send you, there's never a suggested retail price for Weiss Schwarz booster boxes. And so one of the big issues, like unfortunately, I was part of the problem early on when this happened, was when we had SNK cards and JKTCG. When we basically set the price of booster boxes because we wanted like to maximize the money we're getting, honestly, right? So when we started pushing out early on as a store, like $65 a box or whatever, or $60 a box for pre-orders and stuff like that, when the game started getting taken off, everyone's like, JKTCG, SNK cards. These people sell it for this much. Why can't your brick and mortar store sell it for this much as well? And then those stores were unfortunately sometimes were forced into lowering their prices because we kind of fucked up the market early on. Not gonna lie.
Whereas not a single game has like something they call a price market or baseline, right? There's always a market value that cards will trend towards because people are able to evaluate cards. People aren't stupid. I don't need someone to tell me, "Hey, that's a good card. Hey, that's a bad card." Right?
Right.
Right. We're able to evaluate those cards. We're able to evaluate values based on how much a case costs and etc. Right. So
Right.
having the store there was convenient at most, but it was pretty detrimental, I think.
But I think we're going off on long tangents. The entire purpose of that was to say, like, because you're talking about issues in the community, right? So let's try to wrap it back in.
Yeah.
We're talking about issues in the community, and it was like the player and the investor are two different beasts. And I think a lot of the drama for the last year has been, like I said, the initial surge of investors causing buyouts in product that didn't have supply, but now we do have supply. So like I don't know if I haven't seen much fighting outside of people laughing at the people slapping cards. So
Yeah, I do think
I don't know if that's still as much of an issue as it has been before.
I think the initial like shock and like people getting mad at investors / collectors or whatever has pretty much died down because we have some really good like collectors. I forget his name. He posts a lot and he does like a lot of
Hodges?
videos. Is that him? It's like Alex Hodges or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy from the interaction he does in the community and stuff. Because he seems like an okay guy, and I honestly I think a lot of collectors and people who like buy slab cards are honestly most likely going to be like him for the most part. Except for there's of course there's always going to be a couple of people who are like, here's my Amelia $10,000. It's a 9 out of 10 PSA. You know, those people are kind of cringe. But if you ignore those people, those type of people will just kind of leave the community once they realize like, hey, I can't come in here and just like easily sell these cards to like make any profit or whatever or invest into this as much. But yeah, it kind of like I said in the beginning too, like the whole growing pains like for the market of these cards too has just been really awkward over the last 2 years because of how much the community has grown. Do we want to touch up on any other community issues? I don't know if we want to really bring up the Big B shit up again or just like let it
No,
die.
we don't want to. We don't
Yeah.
want doing that. But I think that like the buyer thing. I think a lot of that has like kind of solved itself. Maybe I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't actually pay attention a lot to the online community right now. There's been a lot of going on, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot. It's
So
just this recent turn of events has really brought forth, I think, a lot of the ugly of the community, which is really sad because I feel like most of the ugly things that happen within the community happened within the last year, maybe 2 years, which is really unfortunate. I don't know if it's just like everyone getting like COVID and like getting angry at everything now because they're stuck inside and can't really travel anymore to events.
which are coming back soon. By the way, we haven't done a news stream in a while. We haven't talked about that.
True, they're coming back. I'm excited for that.
Let's go.
It is time for us to go on our Holy Crusades again.
Holy Crusades across America.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Jesus. Oh man,
We have
what?
never top 4 Chicago.
Yeah,
So
we've topped
that's
8.
our goal.
We've topped
That's because
8.
I wasn't there.
And you guys threw. I was undefeated that day. Nico couldn't win his game.
I blame Nico. You know, even though I lost, I blame Nico.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but yeah. So we're hoping this year. I want to take a W in Chicago, and I want to take a W in Atlanta. We have failed every time. Top 4 of those places. So let's get our names
James.
down there.
James.
We finally saved enough to get our internet up and running.
Yep. Oh,
Just
man.
come down to America, Luna. That's all you need to do. Our goal is to top every single Spring Fest.
Yeah.
We need
That
one.
we go to. I'm probably not going to go to Cali, to be honest, but try to make
Cali's
the
too
list.
soon.
Yeah, Cali, like the fact that it's not confirmed, like they haven't really confirmed any venues or anything yet, makes it so I don't even want to try to go.
And then like
Cali.
they set it for March, right?
No, they sent it for April. I think like the
It's
first
also
week of
too.
April.
I
I thought
don't know.
Chicago was April.
Chicago's like the
Chicago-
second week of April or third week of April, something like that.
Yeah. I heard we got Georgia, so we got Atlanta.
Yeah,
Back.
Atlanta's back.
Nice.
Well, it's not even Atlanta; it's
Oh.
some other city, but I assume it's next to Atlanta.
Yeah, so that Houston, New Jersey. I
Yeah,
think that's the only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now.
yeah. There's
That's a
one in
lot.
Mexico as well. I don't think it has a venue.
Wow, we're not going to go to Mexico, boys.
I'm good. South
Cancun?
America can just have that one. Yeah. I think that's it for us, really, right? It kind of wraps up all the drama and stuff we kind of wanted to talk about. Um, yeah, you guys good?
Yeah, I
Any
think that's
questions? Any questions?
Yeah,
April
I mean-
2nd for LA? Yeah, that's way too soon.
Yeah,
Chicago is on Easter, which will lower output, but I'll
good.
probably
Less
be there. I think.
competition.
It doesn't
Alright.
matter.
Drop your questions
We'll
in
take
chat
anyone.
before we leave.
That is James Assay, also known as
Dude,
Soy Saucer WS.
Yeah, he's truly a god of supporting the community, unironically.
Mm-hmm. Huge shout out to James. Rip Canada. Hey, maybe they'll announce some because they did announce a US city late.
I hear Canada is like super strict still about everything, so
Hey,
Yeah.
yo, just bring the shit up to Houston.
Daryl's down here. Y'all dodging 2 Soul TLR in Mexico? Absolutely. I'll lose that
I
matchup.
think
I
we'll have
would
a lot
lose
of
it.
people at Houston and Chicago.
Houston, Chicago
Oh.
are usually pretty big. What's up?
You know for a fact I'm the one who fights people like 2 Soul TLR.
Yeah, this shit's
I'm the one
hilarious.
who does, and I look at you guys. I'm like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, Carmen couldn't be on here. Platinum Points asking in chat, what does Carmen think about the situation? He couldn't be on here because, unfortunately for him, he's actually in the middle of moving to a new house, so he can't. He doesn't have time this week to really get on anything. He's kind of in the same boat as us. He's really disappointed in all the stuff that happened. We might talk about it again at some point just to get Carmen's perspective on it. I was really hoping he'd be able to like squeeze some time in here with us, but
Mhm.
you know he's busy with his life, busy being an adult in real life. So. See.
What are we playing at Springfest? I think Dean's probably staying on Disgaea, yeah?
Disgaea?
Yeah? Yeah? Is it a
That
win
is-
if you're not playing Disgaea?
Oh, Disgaea is pretty good, but I don't have a Monogatari top, so we got to get that next.
Oh, we gotta get that next, alright.
Nisei top? Oh, that might be impossible, though. Unless Kit and like someone else is absolutely cracked and just go like
Yeah,
undefeated.
you can play Nisei Mono, I'll play Nisei Koi.
Ooh.
And then
Like one of those teams that you see that's at like the X.
we'll be the
zero
X2
X
drop
table.
at the bar.
Let's see. Wait, James says, I don't know if this is an open secret, but what's the deal with those English grammar errors? What in our titles and dumb stuff? I don't know if it's from me. I'm an idiot, so like I type very.
We're just emulating the Hot C experience.
You're right, the Hotzi experience. You know, we just want to make sure if someone copy pastes our stuff, we can point out that they still are copyright infringement stuff. Thoughts on Tokyo Revengers? I haven't read
Looks
any
broken.
of the cards.
I
You have like quad
hate the
kick 3
censorship,
cards.
right? The
Well, yeah.
censorship is everything I hate about mod 2022.
Yeah, I do
Wow.
I do want the big manjis on my card, but it's our first set in English. I mean, other than like Slime too, I guess.
Mhm. It's really cool that it's release in both, and then same thing with AOT 3.
Oh,
I'm
meant
assuming
more.
AOT 3 is coming into.
I meant more of the problem of the triple clock kick at end of attack. Right? It's like there's no counterplay to that. Memory shoot counter, I guess, on it against an 8 standby deck.
Yep.
So I guess memory shoot pretty good.
I think Memory Shoot's just in a really good position now, and
Yeah.
most decks.
You want to remove the Mikeys.
Mhm.
All right. NCG goggles. Thoughts on online going forward and ideas to help fix the situation. I don't think there's any real perfect way to like fix the situation. You just need more people like hopefully realize like ways people can cheat and like fight against it. It sucks because if you play online, there's literally nothing we can really do about cheating, right? Unless we have like a thousand different cameras from 1,000 different angles to like see everything all the time and then review the footage like 1,000 times before we say, okay, you can go on to the next round. There's no perfect way to solve it. We just gotta, if someone gets caught cheating, we just need to out them in the community and ban them from online events, especially because that's all we can really do. And try to force some kind of unified way people will do webcam games that prevents people as much as possible from cheating or being tempted cheating.
Big field.
It's an issue. Sorry.
I was gonna say big field of view is like the biggest thing, but like not everyone can do that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
so
you need like a stream setup that's like overhead. Like I did a tripod with a webcam on it. Well,
Mhm.
of course, not everyone's gonna have that, right? But you want to be able to have like a field of view where like they can't see your hand, but they can see they can see the number of cards in your hand, but they can't see like over it, right?
yes.
And then they can see
Hmm.
like both sides of you, maybe like an extra like 6 to 7 inches on each side of your playmat, where your hands are, and like your chest and a little bit behind you. So that way you're not like pulling shit out of like the side without them being able to like see it.
yeah,
And then like
But
another
that's hard to
thing,
do, right?
like a lot of what online testing software do, right? They have you show your room, yeah, like, so examine your room, whatever. But that takes a lot of manpower, which is a lot more difficult when you have 100+ participants, right? And
They
being
only have the
online just
man.
opens up a much bigger like player base.
They only have the manpower to tell me to resleeve my deck.
Yeah, so like it is a huge manpower issue. Part of it is that it is a free. All online events are free events, right? So any judging and all of that is out of their own pockets. I know most like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, MyCS, whatever, their entry fees to help pay for those costs.
Right.
So I want to see what Bushy wants to do about it. The easiest thing for them to do is just cancel online events, but that'd be really sad for me, I think.
yeah.
Uh,
I don't want to see online events go.
They probably shouldn't have prize support like they did.
Yeah, the price support
Those
was actually
re-rents
really
were
insane.
insane.
Yeah.
Like
uh,
that was the number one event to top, I think, ever.
Yeah, honestly, it was. But yeah, having huge price support is kind of I don't want to say cringe because like I want people online who don't have the opportunity to make it out to these events to be able to do like fight for something and like fight for something a little bit more than like I got first place online, you know. But it kind of is what it is at this point. Hopefully, moving forward, we get some improvements and we just out the bad people in the community. Platinum points is, do you think that this just shows that people cheat no matter what? Yep, people will always cheat if there's prizing and ways to make your online e-penis bigger. People will cheat no matter what.
yeah, that's why I really like to avoid big pricing.
Yeah, but that's why in person, if you ever plays against somebody, always shuffle their deck. I mean, that's like really
Yeah,
all you can do, right?
Planet has
Outside of that, watch them, make sure they don't do anything fishy, and always shuffle their deck. But you can't do those things online, so that's like a sad thing.
yeah.
But
So Platinum Point says again, has there been cheating scandals in IRL major events? I don't think there's been any real cheating scandals in major events. Like worst case scenario stuff, I believe is like someone messing up their registration sheet, and so like they missed a card or something. I don't know if you really count that as cheating. I don't really think it
oops,
is.
you didn't put R at the end of your foil.
Yeah, I
Your
don't really
deck
count that
sheet.
as cheating. But I mean that stuff kind of happens occasionally. Outside of any like major cheats, I don't think that I don't. At least there's been no documented case of someone blatantly cheating and not getting caught. I think the worst
Yeah.
case, yeah, the worst case scenario is that I think Ryan from SBTCG made a mistake on stream, which was corrected later.
He literally lost the game over
Yeah,
that.
and he lost the game over it. So I mean, he didn't really cheat. And both players didn't catch it. So
I mean, in person tournaments, if anything happens, it's probably like play a climax with the wrong color on accident. I feel like most things that could end up like happening in a Weiss Schwarz tournament are probably accidental. Um,
Yeah, I also agree canceling online events is not the way. But Bushy has always trended towards like safer options where they're like they don't open any room for them to be criticized, right?
right.
And so the easiest out for them to not be criticized for online events is just to not run any.
But overall, they've been doing pretty good job. I feel like Bushiroad's done like stepped it up, like compared to like what that call out stream we did when JoJo got released or something.
yeah,
Like
Bushiroad definitely has been stepping up their game overall, which is really good. I think they've been doing. Like obviously, there's still criticisms to be said, but they've been doing a lot, right?
maybe if you're gonna have an online event again, maybe everyone in top 8 gets some promo instead of like shoving it all into like 2 people's hands, or 3 people's hands,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And then that way it's like you're not as incentivized to cheat. I feel like there was like actual financial, like if there was a place to cheat, it was in Bro.
Yeah, it definitely
But
was. All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, online events maybe in the future, but Kit sounds like he's going to wrap this up now.
Yep, I'm fucking done. Unless you have any, if you have any important thing, last minute things to say, Dan or Dean, anything?
Not really.
Not really, other than come check us out at Houston and Chicago.
Oh yeah, we're
Maybe
going.
Jersey.
In New Jersey.
Yeah,
Atlanta.
I won't be making New Jersey. I have prior engagements. I'm going to Combo Breaker because
Let's go.
yeah, it's been a couple years since I've been to an FGC event, but I'm going to be at Combo Breaker. So if any of you are in Combo Breaker and you want to lose money to me and Weiss, I will take anyone on for any money matches. I don't care, English, Japanese format, whatever. We'll do it. I'm also going to be completely wasted that entire weekend with my friends. So I'm sure you'll either I will get a lot of money because I have no fear, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll cancel on one. I don't care. I don't need to use this Leaf counter. Or I will just end up giving away all my money that weekend. We'll see what happens. But I'm pretty sure I'm just going to take everyone's money because I just get lucky too often.
You're powerful.
Yep.
Alcohol is a buff.
Alcohol, yeah, it is a buff. I'm going to be... Why would I calculate damage when I could just swing 3 times? My opponent will be dead. All right. But yeah, we should be going to every major event for the most part. At least some number of our team members should be going. I won't be at New Jersey, but everyone else should be. We're going to be at Houston. We're going to be Chicago. We're going to go to Atlanta, I believe. I don't know if everyone's on board Atlanta, but I know at least Carmen, Dean, and I will be at Atlanta. And for those guys who don't know, I don't know if we said this last time because we haven't had a stream in a while because literally I've been sucked into the hellhole that is Final Fantasy 14. Nico is no longer with us. Well, he's alive, not
Rip.
that he's dead.
Rip
Nico. He got shipped out by the U.S. government because he works for the Air Force, and he's going to be gone for a year. He's still with us on the team and stuff, but yeah, so he won't be around for any events or any of our videos anymore, which is sad. Yeah, I hope everything's doing great for him. He still keeps in contact with us and everything, which is cool. Just he won't be around for content or anything. Which is
yeah, because I know he said he wants to get shipped off to Japan afterwards, so he might not even be here after a year.
No, he's gonna be our Burn 1 representative in Japan, losing to the locals.
He's gonna shoutcast his locals in Japan.
Hell yeah! I'll send out a camera to him and stuff.
I can't imagine how stifled he'll feel coming from America, screaming at Dean, at locals, into getting called out for harassment if he screams at Japanese.
Man, I remember. Okay, small tangent story, really quick before you say goodbye because of that. Remember when we were in Japan, Dean and Carbon knocked over his deck and it like went everywhere, and then he was like, "Don't worry, guys, this is normal in America." And all the Japanese people were just so confused. I had a good time at that event. That's all I gotta say. Wait, you were there, right, Dean, for that or no?
I don't remember that exchange, but that sounds really funny. That does sound like something that probably happened.
I remember it. And even if I didn't remember it, if it didn't happen, I'm just gonna gaslight everyone into believing it did happen, so it'll become true. All right. With that being said, guys, we're gonna be signing off here. Thanks for joining us. We had a crazy amount of people come because everyone loves drama. Fucking everyone loves being a drama frog. I get hyped for drama every day. Yep, follow us on Twitter and all that stuff. All that information's below. And then we're trying to do King of the Hill this weekend, right? Or this week? Or
yes, we are going to put up registration soon.
Yeah, so if you're not in our Discord server, we always ping in there. We drop registration for King of the Hill, and then, after we talked about how the integrity of online events, come play in our online King of the Hill event. It's a lot of fun. There's no pressure. You get to play whatever you want every week, and you just see how many weeks in a row you can be the champion. So far, I think the longest we've had is 6. Was that Scarada or? Who?
No, that was Delta Drake.
Oh, Delta Drake. Yeah. Delta Drake, the true god.
He was insane.
He's like 6 weeks in a row or something ridiculous. It was actually insane.
With bar book ReZero.
Oh yeah, true. But yeah, come on by our Discord. We are not super active in there unless you start talking and like asking us questions. But most of the members are always around, and we're always like as friendly as possible. So hit us up in there. Otherwise, thank you guys for coming out to the stream. We really, really appreciate it. Shoutouts again to Soy Saucer Weiss Schwarz, WS, known as James. He's literally a god in the community. He like every content creator, like I'm pretty sure has received money from him. So everyone should be thankful that he's literally carrying the content creators on his back, making sure they get, some food. Besides that, guys, we'll talk to you later. Peace.